Heyo! Let's get down to nitty-gritty. I am, of course, obviously, not sponsored by anybody. I am Joe Schmuck with a tremendous amount of experience with lenses especially, but also with cameras. So, I don't believe in this whole thing, and I never did. I mean, I understand people are on a budget. They can only have so many cameras, which logically should be the case. You know, having like cars and a nice house are more important than a pile of cameras, unless it's your business. But I still don't believe this notion that I've been shooting so-and-so for 10 years and I'm going to jump ship. You know, Sony came out with a new camera. I'm going to sell my 20-year collection of Nikkor lenses and Nikons or Canons. You know, how about you creep into something and test the waters first? You know, like save up enough bucks and like buy what it is you want and one lens, and then test it. There's so many of these people like, I sold everything and I bought into Sony, and now I don't like it and I'm going to sell it. You know, whoa, man, talk about the depreciation curve. My Nikon stuff I've been shooting for 28 years, more than that. Oh, God, more than 28 years. Definitely. It's not going anywhere. None of it has, and none of it will. Nikon D750's got a little issue. I'm shooting this on the Nikon D750. It's only a high-speed sync issue. I don't care. Sony's come out with boners. Canon's come out with boners. I mean, it was like, well, they really screwed the pooch. Issue, you know, recall pisses people off. People are like, I've been shooting for Nikon for 20 years. This is all the crap I can take. They're making their customers beta testers. Well, there's a little bit of truth in that. Especially for crap made in Asia instead of Japan. Hi! Love Japanese, man. Hi! I've always been of the philosophical premise that I want something made by someone that would rather commit hara-kiri than drunken Joe Blow on the factory floor that was reliving his his drunken stint the night before, where he had 12 bottles of beers and was watching a Ren and Stimpy commercial, Ren and Stimpy, a Ren and Stimpy video. You know, two totally different classes of work ethics. Everybody makes mistakes. Even the Japanese have pulled a few boners, like Pearl Harbor. When it comes to manufacturing. Shh, I'll edit that out later, I promise. Anyway, getting to Fuji. Anyway, I love Nikon. I love my Nikon stuff to death. Fuji's mirrorless, excuse me, I meant to say mirrorless. Mirrorless's limitations are obvious. You know, they're battery hogs, there's issues with action and continuous autofocus. Is that going to get better? Of course it will. I've said and I meant that the Fuji stuff that I've got is like my motorcycles, and the Nikons are like my SUVs or cars. You know, someone's got a car, they use it for a car because it's useful for basically everything. And the motorcycles are fun and cool and they're awesome, and you know, car does one thing, motorcycle does the other thing. They both kind of do the same thing. They got wheels and they get you places, but I have to say that my long-term synopsis after, I don't know, what has it been, 7 months or so, something like that, on the X-T1 and the X-T10. Here's the X-T1. I made a neat little hand strap for the X-T1 here. I love my little handmade, my little homebrew hand straps. These cameras have been more fun than, you know, more joy than a woodpecker in a lumber yard, more happy than a worm in a pile of poo, you know, more excited than a pervert in a porn shop. Especially the X-T1. I love the old dials. I'm a bit of a nostalgic freak. I mean, but they don't act like, I mean, you sit there and roll the front and rear command dials instead of using these dials, except for ISO. But the X-T1, I mean, it's just been a pile full of double D tits. It's just been a bucket of tits. That's a southern thing. The Europeans and the northerners won't get that. As I say, southern thing is like a bucket full of tits. It doesn't make any sense, but it just means awesome, you know. So that's my actual long-term synopsis. Actually got a few of these now. I need to get rid of one. I couldn't pass this one up. I got this one for right at $500, no less. Not with a vertical grip, but off of some crazy dentist down in Florida. He sold it because he's trying to angle for the new X Pro 2 that just came out, which I tested, and I know what the X-T2 is going to be. By the way, the X-T2 is supposed to have 4K video, the inside. So not that I give a damn about 4K video. Don't give a damn. I don't care if it even has video. I don't even use the video on these either. The video on these is more than decent. But these cameras have been the tits, and I love packing around in my coat pocket the X-T10. But my most fun in the world is this cute little beast. And, you know, they're both the same sensor and processor, so if you're worried about that, you know, same stuff. But once in a rare while, doesn't mean if it's Nikon, Canon, or Fuji, or anybody else, you know, Leica or Sony, two irrelevant brands to me anyway. Once in a while a camera manufacturer designs something really special, and I think this is actually it, and I don't say that lightly. I've used it a lot, and it's just awesome. And I think Fuji, unlike rolling stuff out and kind of like reinventing the wheel, because Fuji's earlier cameras, one of them looks exactly like a Nikon. You know which model I'm talking about. Fuji certainly does imitation, and this is kind of reminiscent to a throwback to an old Nikon model, kind of, sort of, but not really, but I mean it kind of is. And this camera has just been a pile of tits, and it's been so much fun. This has literally been, you know, this camera is so much fun it'll turn you into a human tripod. Another inside Southern saying. So I've had a lot of fun with the X-T1. My Nikon stuff ain't going nowhere. Okay, not sponsored by anybody. Nobody's paying me to say one thing or the other. I used an awful lot of damn cameras, and you know how many lenses I've used and tested. And you know the great fun too of this is with the Metabones adapter. You know, I'm getting older. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, but I can still manual focus the hell out of the rest of you. But at f1.2 and f1.4, you know, it's an issue snagging it on manual focus, and with focus peaking on these, it's just the tits. Especially, you know, it comes to some really expensive Zeiss lenses that I've got, like 35mm f1.4. Yeah, that $1,600 lens. I can stick it on here, turn on focus peaking, which is always on anyway, when you have your camera in manual mode, and you know, just nail it. Boom. There it is. So, cheers to Fuji. I would call your camera absolutely off the scale epic on a scale of 1 to 10. Your X-T1, and I don't say this lightly, has been an 11. So it's off the scale. So, Fuji, you rock, and yeah, that's about sums it up for me. Or a bucket full of tits, but nobody understands that saying. Thanks for watching. Bye.